Welcome back to MLB Central, powered by Harbor Freight. Look at this, number 5 on quite a tear. And he's been doing this for 16 years, almost 2 decades. And I was nerding out, Robert, on his stats. I was on D-Row and Albert, his baseball reference page, and I was looking up his average over the last decade. You ready? 302, 307, 309, 341, 325, 2 years of 280-ish, 331, and 376.
You know how I feel about
What?
Aaron Judge right now. The whole world, he's putting on notice, right? But what did if we're going to the...
Which is not a scenario, but it's so much fun to think about. It might be.
If we're going to the electric chair, or I got one AB to give with my life on the line...
I'll give it to Freddie.
Freddie's getting it.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't let me down either, Freddie. All right? I don't think he will.
You can't go wrong with any of those guys. It's tough, but...
Let's give him a front end, and then I want to throw to some sound about his approach, and then I want to go through his at-bats, and we're going to cook here. He is hitting .376. He had 4 knocks yesterday, 9 homers, 33 RBIs, a .437 on-base percentage, an 1170 OPS. And I'm going to take you back. Listen to the sound of one of the premier hitters in the game and what his approach is to hitting. Listen.
For me, it's like you can tinker, swing path, this and that, but if you don't have an approach at the plate, your swing could be the best swing in the world, but you don't have an approach, I don't know really the success. So I'm always harping on in hitters meetings. I try, like, if this guy likes to go in, I try and leave that pitch in because it's so hard for a pitcher to hit the inside corner 3 straight times. And if they do, tip your cap, go back to the dugout. For me, it's like an 0-1 mindset. Right. Like, that's what I think, and drive the ball to left center.
Pause it. Did you hear what he said?
Yep.
He said, I don't think this is coming from Chipper Jones. I don't think a pitcher can locate in 3 times in a row. If he does, tip your hat. And I go up to the plate with an 0-1 mindset, working the ball up the middle the other way. What was your...
Preach, King. Same mindset. I would tip my cap if that guy, not just 3 times, I would say twice.
Really?
And again, if they can paint that, I go like this. Great job, and especially in that era when I came up, because you had like Matos, Glavin, small guys, Randy, guys that can really, really locate well, So I had the same mindset as well, I always looking for fastball. That was me. I wasn't a guy that...
You didn't guess pitches?
Never. I felt like if I guessed, I wasn't as aggressive as I want to. I was a guy also that I never would like to choke up because I feel like I was defending the strike zone. I feel like if I'm going to strike out, I want to strike out with my A swing. Because you see a lot of these guys right now, like choke down, try to put the ball in play. You actually coming out of your stand when you do that. But just stay with your aggressive swing. If you're going to go down, I prefer to go down with my aggressive swing, my A swing.
So you were sitting heater middle away?
Sitting here in middle away, my mindset was the line drive hitter with power. When I take batting practice, I took batting practice to try to hit the ball back in the gap to gap, back to the middle. If I pull a ball and hit it, I know the MVP, I could hit a home run. And you know how hard that is, even in batting practice, to say, I'm going to hit this ball out. Yeah. Imagine in the game. But I can tell you that, just like Freddie can also tell you this, I can go every night and every day knowing that I'm going to give you 4 or 5 quality at-bats. Like, that was it. I might look bad in one pitch, but you have to give credit to the guy in the mound.
And in talking to Freddie, what I love about him is he says, I just focus on the 17 inches and if it's going to be a strike. I don't necessarily care if it's a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. If it's catching them, you have to have elite pitch recognition to do that.
Yeah, we were talking about it early, remember, we were talking about this early, like sometimes we see that hanging breaking ball and we want to drive the ball to right field. I think as a hitter, and I learned later on this in my career, as a hitter, don't think about hitting that way. Hit the ball where it's pitched. If that ball is middle away, then drive it that way. If it's middle in, then try to get your hands and burn it. But if it's a hanging breaking ball, how many times that happened in our career where we try to stay close and try a driver and we end up hitting a pop out in the infield? Hey man, put that ball. If it's middle in, if it's hanging breaking ball, give yourself a chance. Put it in the seat or hit it a foul ball.
Give me the board, Devin. Give me that first board. Most consecutive seasons with a 130 OPS plus or higher. Barry Bonds, 17 consecutive seasons. Freddie Freeman, 13. Oops, who's on that list? Albert Pujols is on that list. Just I breathe the names in. The best to do it. All right, I want to go through his at-bats because I feel like he's playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers with the pitcher, and Zach Gallen's fantastic. I just want to show you, Zach Gallen goes cutter in, he goes cutter in again, jams him. So pause this for me real quick. So I would be thinking, if I'm Zach Gallen, I can get that in on him if I need to. All right, so he wastes a heater away right here. Now pause this. I would be, if I was Freddie, I'm like, he's coming in with that cutter again.
Yeah, as a hitter, you think that.
But Freddie doesn't deviate. Watch this next pitch, Albert. It's a four-seam. He tries to look at it.
Yeah.
I would have pulled off that. Now, I get it. I know the type of player I was. But for him to stay relentless in his approach right there, now he's going to get the cutter in, and he's going to roast it down the right field line. So he knew in the back of his mind, at some point, Gallen's going back to that pitch.
Yeah,
Pause this.
you need to think of yourself, which sometimes as a pitcher, that's their mistake. They say, oh, as a hitter, he's probably looking for that cutter. Let me throw a fastball away. And that's when you make the mistake. I'm like, go back to your cutter. Sometimes they do a favor for us. They make that adjustment for us because they try to not throwing that pitch thinking that we are looking for that pitch middling or middle away, and they go and throw an off-speed or whatever that was. And I bet you with Zach Gallen, it was probably that. He was thinking about, well, I already threw him 2 cutters. And although I got in jam, let me see if I can get him with the fastball middle away and maybe freeze it. And Freddie was ready for it. But when you are locked in, like Freddie is right now, it doesn't matter what you throw. I mean, he's so comfortable at the plate, you can see it. And it's almost like he knew every pitch. He was reading every pitch as soon as he was coming from out of his head.
Yeah. And then Mantiply, I mean, go through this. 1-0, he goes heater again. He goes breaking ball for a strike. And he hangs the next one. Nasty pitch. If he locates this again, he might have him. Nope. And it's going in the pool.
Well, you get results like that when you stick with your plan. He knew that he threw a nasty slider. It wasn't nothing wrong with his swing. It was just, hey, he threw a nasty slider.
Yeah.
But I'm going to change my approach. I'm going to stick with my approach, which I'm sure with Freddie's probably gap, probably middle. And that's why, because he had that approach and he stuck with it, he put that ball in the pool.
Yeah.
Because he stayed with that approach. Now he got his hanger slider and he was able to put a good swing.
Bring up the players with 300, 400, 500. Oops. There it is. Give me a side angle of Freddie. This is ridiculous. You guys are so good.
And D-Row, his ankle's not right.
No, it's not. He's getting an hour and a half of treatment just to get out there every day. And people will never know how hard it was for him to post in the World Series. Run this. Simple
Not
move.
just post.
Well, we're going to get into it, Lauren. Don't you think I left that out? Because on the back end, give me that. Because I don't cry. I haven't cried in 30 years, which I need therapy on that. We'll talk about that later.
That's a problem.
But I felt a tear rolling down my face when that ball hit. To know Freddie since he was 18 years old and to see him put LA on his back and just World Series MVP. Albert, you hit you hit 3 bombs in a World Series game in Texas.
Not just that, Dero. What he went through last year,
I know,
with his family, and then to be able to stay focused like that, and I mean, great for him and great human being. Forget about what he does in the field. I mean, Freddie is an awesome guy, awesome teammates.
And it doesn't matter if it's left, right, home, away, starting, relief, fastball, non-fastball. It's a joke. He texted me the other day after we had Hunter Brown on the show. He said, that guy needs to pitch for Team USA.
Yeah. I
said, someone else needs to play for Team USA.
And?
Freddie Free. And he said,
Okay.
Give me
So
there's still time.
I don't know.
You know when the last time I cried? It
When
was
the guy took your car?
it was Friday when I opened up the hood of my car.
Yeah, I got it. I got a problem with that. We'll discuss it.
Like a single tear from that PSA, the anti-littering.
I'm eventually going to pull over on the side of the road.
I thought you were going to say when you saw me hit that ball for Brad Letch.
No, too soon. Too soon, Albert. Much too soon, sir.
Kick him out.
Come on.
Go to break.
That's good. Hey, speaking of sluggers, you know that.
Hey, Dodgers fans, Could Steuart Boa be the sneaky pickup that gives our outfield some much-needed depth? With Tommy Edman and Teoscar Hernandez both on the IL, the Dodgers just brought in Boa from the Blue Jays. But who is this guy, and what can he really bring to the table? Stick around, because today we're diving deep into what Boa could mean for the Dodgers right now and moving forward. Who is Steuart Boa? So, who exactly is Steuart Boa? The guy's 26, turning 27 next month, and has had just a cup of coffee in the majors with the Blue Jays last year. In 28 games, he put up a pretty underwhelming .189/.333/.216/ line. Not great, right? But here's the thing, Boa is fast. StatCast had him in the 89th percentile for sprint speed, and he swiped 6 bags in 8 attempts in that tiny sample size. Think about that. Speed doesn't slump, and with a team like the Dodgers that loves to capitalize on every little advantage, that could be a huge asset. Why did the Jays let him go? Let's keep it real, Boa hasn't exactly lit the world on fire this season. He was off to a rough start in AAA, hitting just .195/.267/.234 in 24 games before the Blue Jays decided to DFA him. But here's the interesting part. Last year, in AAA, he was solid. He hit 10 homers, drew walks at an 11.7% clip, and put up a 120 WRC+. Plus, he stole 34 bases. That's legit production, and it shows he's got some pop and discipline to go along with that speed. So, is he a guy who just needs a fresh start? Could the Dodgers developmental staff unlock something? How does he fit with the Dodgers? With Edman and Hernandez both out, the Dodgers have been rolling with guys like Hyun-Soo Kim and James Outman in the outfield. And let's be honest, neither of them is exactly tearing it up. Kim's hitting a flat .318 with no walks or extra base hits, and Outman? He's got a brutal .067/.176/.267 line. Boa could slide in as a fourth outfielder, maybe a pinch runner or defensive replacement, and see if the bat can come around. And even if it doesn't, he still brings value on the bases and in the field. Why Boa could be a steal? Look, we're not saying Boa is the next Mookie Betts or anything. But every contending team needs those utility guys who can step in and provide something in a pinch. The Dodgers picked him up for basically nothing, cash considerations, and still have the option to keep him in the minors if they want. If Boa can get his bat back to where it was last season, we could be looking at a sneaky good move that pays dividends in the postseason. So, what do you guys think? Is Boa just a throwaway pickup, or could he actually turn into a key depth piece for the Dodgers down the stretch? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed for all the latest Dodgers updates. And hey, you know we'll be keeping a close eye on this one. Stay tuned, Dodgers Nation!